Welcome to Satsang. And happy Diwali. They call today Choti Diwali, which means small Diwali. But it's the midst of this very heightened and auspicious and sacred time. So I'm so glad to have you all with us. Starting as always with one of our questions from our beautiful online internet-based family, and then we'll open it up to any questions that any of you have. There's a microphone right here, so feel free to come forward and share your name and ask your question. I am successful in my career, but I often feel a deep sense of emptiness. I wonder what my true purpose is beyond my job and achievements. How do I find meaning in my life that goes beyond material success? This is asked by Carlos from São Paulo, Brazil. It's a great question, and it's an important one. It's a question that all of us should be asking. Far too many of us think that success is only that which comes from our career. Like if you say to most people, what's your definition of success? It's making a lot of money, it's how high up you're going to go in a career ladder, it's the size of your house, the number of your cars, the parties you get invited to, the clothes that you have to wear at those parties. It's all of that. The dilemma with that, as many of us have seen, and the rest of you will eventually see if you live long enough and stay on that path, is those things don't actually bring us what we're looking for. When we get up every day and we go to work, and we want to make money, we want a raise, we want a promotion, what do we want it for? Other than giving our kids a good opportunity. Other than that, what is it that pushes us beyond that? On some level, we think that we're going to find happiness. On some level, there is an internal sense that if I had more money, if I had a better job, if I had a higher position in this job, if I had a bigger house, if I had different cars, if I had different clothes, then I would be happy. It's not success in a random, meaningless way we're looking for. We're looking for happiness. The core of success to people is happiness. And I'm a scientist at heart. I've done these studies. But do your own studies. Ask yourself, ask people, oh, okay, you want that job? What are you going to get from it? Ah, you're going to get a bunch more money. Okay, what are you going to get from that money? Oh, you'll get a bigger house, or oh, you'll even be able to buy a personal plane, whatever it is. But keep on them gently with love. What are you going to get from that? What are you going to get from that? What's the bigger house going to give you? What's the bigger car going to give you? What's the private jet going to give you? And at the end of the day, what you find, all of the things that we think we want for one reason and one reason only. Then I will be happy. The dilemma is You spend decades of your life accumulating and acquiring and attaining and achieving, etc. And you get all of those things. Maybe not the private jet, but you get, some combination of the rest of it. And you're still not happy. And then you're on antidepressants, anti-anxiety medicine. You need a few shots of something to go to sleep at night. And this is where our definition of success has to get changed. It's got to actually be something that gives us what we want. If all you want is money for the sake of money, okay, stay on that path. But nobody wants it for the sake of just paper. We want it because of what it's going to give us. It's going to give us freedom. It's going to give us happiness. It's going to give us respect. It's going to give us popularity. And the end result of all of those things is, then I'll be happy. If I just had more respect, more freedom, more popularity, then I'd be happy. So stop yourself and actually say, all right, what am I doing here? What am I looking for? And is my definition of success something that's going to give it to me? And what you'll find in most cases is no. And that's where we have to change our definition of success. Reminds me of that beautiful story of the businessman who goes to the seaside resort for a vacation, and he's sitting under a tree, and a local villager brings in his fishing boat from the ocean, docks it on the shore, comes, sits under the tree next to him, and they start chatting. The businessman says, what you're doing, when did you go out into the ocean, how long you been there, how many fish did you get? And he starts kind of grilling the local villager. The villager says, oh yeah, I went out in the morning, spent a couple hours, caught this many fish, take them home, have lunch with the family, and then, come back and nap here under this tree. And the businessman said, no, you're doing it all wrong. What are you doing only fishing 2-3 hours a day? You got to stay out there all day long. Fisherman's like, well, why? He says, well, because then you'll catch more fish. And when you catch more fish, then you sell them in the market. When you sell them in the market, then you'll get a bunch of money. With the money, you can buy more fishing boats. And with your more fishing boats, then you can catch more fish. And the fisherman, you can see, is really confused. And he's like, okay, and then what? Like, how am I going to run all these boats? And the businessman says, no, my friend, that's the point. Then you hire people. And they'll run the boats for you. They'll go out, they'll fish, they'll bring it in. And the fisherman says, well then, so what will I do? And the businessman says, well, that's the key. Then you can do what you enjoy. If you like fishing, you go out, you spend a couple hours, you enjoy the morning. You come, you have lunch with the family, you nap in the afternoon under the tree. And I love the story because the ridiculousness of the argument was not apparent to the businessman, but very apparent to the fisherman. Like, this is what I've got already. You're going to send me down a 10-year, 20-year, 30-year path of becoming, a shipping magnate so that I can finally have lunch with my family and nap under the tree in the afternoon. That's what I'm doing today. So you have to really ask yourself, and obviously society and culture plays a role in determining our norms, but I think it's really important individually. It's not what society says, it's not what culture says, it's what to you feels like success. At the end of every day, what are the days that feel the most successful to you? What are the weeks that feel the most successful to you? For most of us, it's things in which we were able in some way to show up with a skill, an ability, a resource. Maybe it was money, maybe it was time, maybe it was an ability we have. And we were able to use those of being an instrument in the hands of the divine. As Pujya Swamiji said yesterday in the Arati on Dhanteras, the day that everybody's buying vessels, he said the point is not to buy vessels, the point is to become a vessel. Become that vessel. Buying vehicles, become the vehicle. Because yesterday was the day everybody, it's all new cars and new, vessels for the house. That's success. When we're able at the end of every day to realize that it matters in some way to someone that we got out of bed today. That there's some ripple impact. And it may have just been you smiled at someone, you gave someone a hug, you bought a cup of coffee for the person behind you in line or the homeless person on the street. Or it may be that you spent 8-10 hours in beautiful service for something that is sharing and spreading light, help, whatever it may be, inspiration, whatever it is. And there's an infinite number of ways to do that. Some of them are things that pay us, some of them are things that don't pay us. That doesn't matter. Success has nothing to do with how much you're making per hour or per week. But there's also nothing that says, thou shalt not get paid. You got to put food on the table in some way. So ask yourself really, what's success to me? And then stop letting society tell you what success means so that you end up wasting your life. Wasting your life. Running after things that aren't giving you what you want. One of my favorite quotes on success was given by this beautiful saint who used to live right across the river from us, named Swami Dayanandji Maharaj. And he said, the definition of success has nothing to do with how much you have or achieve. He said, success is how you respond to the inevitable times. Inevitable means they're gonna happen. The inevitable times that the universe does not act the way you think it should. That's success. When things don't go your way, people, the weather, the stock market, your health, the health of others, how do you respond? He said that's the definition of success. Because if you respond well, it doesn't happen automatically. It takes work. You're only going to respond well when things don't go your way, when you have a very deep and strong spiritual practice. When you've really anchored and grounded yourself in the truth of who you are, in a pervasive sense of okayness, bare minimum, divinity at the highest level, but we begin with okayness, regardless of how people around you are responding to you, treating you, talking to you, loving you, not loving you, regardless of any external measure of success, relationship, friends, career, financial. And it's only when you've developed that inner awareness do you stand a chance at responding with calmness and equanimity and balance when things don't go your way. So that's one definition of success that I have heard and really love. But I'd say make up your own. Ask yourself, really, what is success to me? Make a list. What to me counts as a successful life? A year from now, I want to be what? At the end of my life, looking back on my life, I want to have achieved what? And make sure as you do that, that you don't think about what it's going to look like when you share it on Instagram. Because I promise you, those rewards are very fleeting. Very fleeting. Like split-second fleeting. So really think about, when you're making those lists, not that which is going to make people jealous of me or impress people or fulfill somebody else's idea for what I should be or finally make me feel like I'm worthy of occupying my place on planet Earth. That's just workaholism. But really, on a deep level, if nobody ever knew about it, what would feel like a successful life? Not how does it look, not what's the acclaim you're going to get, but how does it feel to you? And then let that be your definition. Because I'll tell you, the most successful people I know are definitely not the richest. The most successful people I know are not the ones you see on the cover of magazines. They're not the ones you see with, the biggest houses or the boats or the private planes or the best-selling books or the, neatly dressed, beautiful children in a row, whatever it is. The most successful people I know are those who are really deeply spiritually grounded and really anchored and really connected, and who live their lives as an offering of love to the world. Doesn't mean that none of them has a big house or a nice car. I mean, in some cases it overlaps. It's not that you have to be poor. But it has to do with focus and priority. So let yourself be the judge of that. Yeah, great question. Other questions? Yes. He's going to get the mic to your size.
Hi, I'm Sajjan. I'm from the UK.
Sajjan, sweetie, can you come a little closer to the mic and speak a little bit louder?
Hi, I'm Sajjan from the UK. My question is, long time ago, people used gods to explain things they didn't understand. For example, with the Greeks, they used Zeus to explain lightning. But a lot of this has been proven wrong by science. Do you think there's a possibility of the idea of God itself being proven wrong by science?
What a question. Did everybody hear that question? People in the back missed the question. Okay. I'm going to repeat your question. Some in the back missed it. So, Sajjan, how old are you?
11.
So Sajjan is 11 from London. And he said, in history, there are things that we've attributed to God that it turned out were just due to science. Like, we used to think that lightning was due to Zeus. But then they realized that scientifically that's not true. He said, do you think that we're ever going to get to a place where God himself is sort of disproved by science? No, I don't. And here's why. I am a scientist at heart. I'm a scientist by my academic history. I love science. Science does not disprove God. Let me give you an example. One of the biggest arguments between the scientists and the religion people have to do with creation. Like, how did we get here? So science says we evolved. We began as amoebas, basically. I mean, things before that, but we'll begin with the amoeba. Then we were in the water, then we came on land, we were on 4 legs, then we came to 2 legs. This is how science explains it. There was a big bang, Big Bang happened, then we got all of the energy and all of the different atoms and elements. Some religion says, no, none of that happened. God just, boom, created. Now, what most people I know, myself included, but also most religious people of every religion, believe. Yes, there was a Big Bang. Yes, we evolved like that. I don't know anybody who says, oh no, that's all a crock. You know, no, we didn't come out of the ocean. No, we didn't evolve like that. No, we didn't used to be apes. No, we didn't used to be Neanderthals. Everybody I know agrees with that level of evolution. Everybody I know agrees that there was a Big Bang, and that in the Big Bang we got all the elements. But let me ask you something. How do you think the Big Bang happened? And I ask you that as a scientist, because I've actually spent time in science laboratories. There was a brief moment of my education where I thought I wanted to be a doctor, and I did all of the biology and the physics and the chemistry, and what I can tell you about those laboratories is, you've got your Bunsen burners, you've got your crucibles. You put things in the crucible, you turn on the Bunsen burner. In most cases, nothing happens. So when you raise your hand, you call the teacher over, you're like, we followed all the instructions, but nothing happened. Sometimes you get a bad smell. Sometimes you get a little bit of smoke. You never get life. Now today, botanists, who are the scientists who study, right, plants, they could tell you, take this leaf. It is made up of this much nitrogen, this much carbon, this much hydrogen, this much oxygen. The molecules come together like this. You know, you've got your rods and your styrofoam balls, and I'm sure now they do it with computers, but when I was in school, we had, you know, styrofoam balls and things, and they were molecules. And they'd show how the molecules join together. They know exactly how that leaf is made. They cannot make one. We have tens of thousands of years of modern human evolution. I don't mean back in the old days, I mean modern human evolution. Thousands and thousands and thousands of years. We have hundreds of years of what you would consider modern science. No one, to date, knowing everything we know, has been able to make a leaf or a mosquito in a petri dish or a crucible, let alone an actual human. Now, what the hardcore scientists would say is it's random. The spiritual person in me doesn't believe that, because of the time I have spent in science laboratories. With full planning, full knowledge, full expertise, you get a bad smell. You get smoke. You don't get life. The idea that somehow no planner, no planning, no vision, no purpose, no idea, utterly random cosmic things and energy bouncing off each other somehow led to this, neither the spiritual person nor the scientist in me believes it. What I believe is, yes, there was a Big Bang, yes, there was evolution, but there had to be a planner, because this thing had a plan. This is unfolding according according to the most perfect, beautiful plan. Look at your human body. You throw junk in it, and it turns it into energy, it turns it into bones, it turns it into muscles, and you poop out the rest. Can you imagine? That happened randomly? Really? Just a mutation? Selected in favor of? I don't think so. Somewhere there had to be, to me, what I would call a capital P planner for this capital P plan. And then the plan unfolded. There was a big bang. Then there was evolution, exactly the way the scientists have told us. The only difference is it wasn't random. And so I think that science is going to be able to show us a lot more. Maybe we'll be able to see the soul. Wouldn't that be great? People would stop doubting it. Maybe we'll be able to somehow trace reincarnation. Maybe there'll be something that you can do that'll somehow be able to track incarnation after incarnation. Who knows? But I don't think that science would ever disprove God, because as science gets more and more evolved, to me it just makes the case for God even stronger. Because it makes us see the miraculousness of the creation more and more. The more we understand the human body, space, the earth, the more miraculous it seems. Right? I mean, the things that make me fall in love with God the most, other than being on the banks of Ganga and singing, are watching like National Geographic videos, or seeing what NASA has posted on Instagram. You know, I mean, that's the stuff that you're like, wow. Like, look at this creator. Look at the creator who has given us this creation. So no, I don't have any worry about God being disproved. I think we'll probably end up with more proof. Great. Thank you, sweetheart. Yeah.
Thank you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you very much for letting me ask. I have a friend who's having a bit of a hard time. They discovered she has cancer, stage 4. So,
No, that's okay. Just can you come a little closer to the mic so it's just somewhat easier to hear? Yeah, thank you so much.
so my friend is having a cancer, and she's going to start chemo actually in 3 days, and they told her it's going to be very aggressive and she might not make it. So I would like to know if you have an advice of how to deal with that, and
Yeah, I'm so
how to
sorry.
help her.
So sorry, her friend has cancer and is going to be starting chemo very shortly. Pray for her. Pray for her. There's so much evidence going back to the science and spirituality. There's so much evidence around the power of prayer. Pray for her. Sit on the banks of Ganga and visualize her in her full health, fully recovered, strong, vibrant. And ask the Mother Goddess for this beautiful prayer as you picture it. Pray for her all day long as you move through your day. Just have these beautiful images of her, fully recovered, fully strong, fully vibrant, as you look back on this time together. And let her know that. Let her know, I see you. I see you 5 years from now, strong and healthy and vibrant. I see you here in India with me. I see us doing yoga on the banks of Ganga, or whatever you see. Don't make it up. Be really just that which actually you can see. And let her know that. Tell her that, here on the banks of the sacred Ganga River, you are praying for her. And also pray for yourself, for that strength. It's so hard to watch our loved ones suffer. You are taking back from here very powerful learnings and experiences that will be of really great benefit for her when you get back. I don't mean go back and start giving her lectures, but that which you've learned, which is now a part of you, that which you've experienced, which is becoming a part of you, when you go back, you'll carry that with you. And your very presence will be very, very soothing for her. And very comforting for her. And it'll hold the spaciousness for her to recover. A lot of times what happens when someone gets sick is everyone gets so panicked and upset that together we create this mutual vision of death. That person is seeing death, we're all seeing death, and there isn't energetic spaciousness for anything else to happen. And that's why it's so important to, not in a repression or denial sort of way, but in a really clear faith in the power of the divine, the power of the mind, the power of healing. Yeah, so many people recover from cancer. Why not her? What makes her any less than all of the people who recover from cancer every year? Hold that vision. Even if you end up with a percentage and the doctor says, 95% of people with this die. People take that as you're over. But 5% of these people live. Out of 100 people with this diagnosis, 5 recover. Why am I any less? Why should I not be one of the 5? And there's no cancer that I know of that has a 95% death rate. It's usually many times less than that. So just hold that, hold the vision, hold the spaciousness, hold the possibility and the knowledge that, yeah, she's going to be one of those. Good. Yeah. Have a beautiful rest of your evening, everyone. We have dancing on the banks of Ganga that'll start shortly. It'll go till 10, so feel free to have dinner first. You don't have to rush there immediately. But anybody who's interested, it's a very traditional dance for especially the state of India called Gujarat, but it's also in many other places. It's called the Garba. And there's a beautiful group of people who are here at the moment, and they are organizing this Garba, and they've very specifically invited everybody from all over the world to come and dance Garba together. So it's not very common that you get a late night dance party here, but we've got it tonight. So hope to see you all there. And a very, very, very beautiful eve of Diwali. And look so forward to seeing you all again tomorrow. And so much love to you all.